Hi everyone, this is Charmander, and this is the start of a new series on how to succeed in Doomsday Last Survivor depending on how much you spend in this game. In this video specifically, I will be covering free-to-play players, and then later on in another video, I will be covering low spenders, medium spenders, dolphins, and whales. If you're absolutely new to this game and haven't started yet, use my special link to download the game and my exclusive code Charmander to get $100 worth of free items. I'll put the link in the description below as well as in the pinned comment section. So first off, who should be free to play? You should be a free to play player if you have a lot of debt. So obviously it's a bad idea to be spending money on this game if you have a lot of debt. So pay off your debt first before you decide to purchase any in-game items. If you are someone that has very low income, then definitely be free to play. If you are from a country with no access to a credit card and you can't purchase anything online, obviously you have to be free to play because you can't buy anything online. And finally, if you have an addictive personality where if you buy something that costs $1, it will turn to $100 and then $1,000 or more, then you should probably be free to play unless you are rich. With that being said, the first thing you need to do as a free to play player is pick a specific troop type that you want to focus on because you're going to have limited resources, so you have to focus on one specific troop type. So your three options are Rider, Infantry, and Range. In my personal opinion, Rider is the cheapest and most effective for free-to-play players, and I'll explain shortly why. The second would be Infantry. I know a lot of content creators in this game will say Infantry is the best, but a lot of those content creators started this game before a lot of new stuff got introduced, such as armaments, the vehicle workshop, and whatnot, and all those has changed how this game works, making Infantry no longer the best troop type for any free-to-play players. They are good for low spenders and higher, which I'll talk about in another video. And finally, Range is the most expensive and definitely not recommended for free-to-play players. So the reason why Rider is the cheapest is because you can get Cynthia early in the game. So Cynthia is one of the legendary heroes and she is quite good, and you can pair her up with other free elite heroes such as Park or Freya. So by pairing Cynthia with these two elite heroes, you already can do quite well at the start of the game as a Rider main player. This combination can then be used to play Bounty Ground, which is one of the events in this game that you need to do to collect items. So I've already collected all the items, that's why you can't see it, but the wheel is actually much bigger than this. And Bounty Ground is where you're gonna get a lot of items in this game, and you're gonna get frustrated if you can't win in Bounty Ground because you are an infantry main, and infantry main are way too slow in Bounty Ground until later on when you have armaments and you have leveled up your heroes. So you will definitely need to use Rider there. So if you level up Rider right from the get-go, then you can compete in Bounty Ground. You'll have less frustration. You'll be able to finish the bounty wheel, get lots of items, which will help you level up your heroes much faster. The Rider Top Commander event is also easier with Rider main because if you look at infantry here, the competition is just way too fierce. Like if you look at the first place right now, it's already at 400 million points, and this is only day 3 of Top Commander. That is disgustingly ridiculous. So the chance of ranking pretty high up in this event, if you are free to play, is extremely horrible. So you definitely want to stay away from infantry main if you are free to play. The Rider Top Commander is not as competitive, so you can get the best heroes from there with much less resources. Another problem with being infantry or range main is that you will get killed during field battles more easily because you're just not going to be as strong as other players that are spending money. So if you fight them head on, they're going to beat you for sure if you are free to play. However, if you are somebody that is a Rider main, then you can node knock, meaning you can go around the map and kill people that are farming resources, and you can also hit and run. So you can fight somebody, and if they're clearly stronger than you, then you can run away because you'll be faster than them because you are Rider main. Or if you see someone in your alliance fighting somebody, you can quickly join in and fight with your teammate, and if they start targeting you, you can just run away. So you have that option to run away and stay alive much longer as a Rider main, but you don't have that option with infantry or range as a free-to-play player. Being Rider main also allows you to free up your infantry troops and your range troops to be used during PvP events for joining garrisons and rallies, allowing you to maximize the efficiency of your troops usage. Finally, Rider mains can focus on upgrading their pants equipment. So this is the pants, and what the pants will do is it will actually increase the research speed. And if you increase the research speed, it will allow you to get T5 and T6 Rider troops as well as other troops much more quickly than any other troop type. and it's actually going to benefit you because you're rider main. So all the benefits here that you get from getting this pants as a rider main, such as rider defense, will also benefit you. So as you can see, there is so much benefit being a rider main free-to-play player versus infantry or range. With that being said, you do you and choose which troop type you prefer to focus on and play with as a free-to-play player. Next, to further optimize your hero choices and stamina savings, I do recommend watching my other videos in this channel, such as the best zombie hunting heroes, the best resource gathering heroes, how to save stamina when killing lots of zombies, as well as my rider tier, infantry tier, range tier, leader and overall tier, and elite tier hero list that I've created, so you can kind of get an idea on which heroes are good and which heroes are bad. You also want to complete the daily quests that you have, so you'll get a list of daily tasks, so make sure you complete them, complete as many missions as possible, as well as completing the entire bounty wheel every week and completing water war every week, just to maximize the amount of resources that you get. Now, your early game heroes is actually gonna come from your police station. Okay, so under police station search, you have the normal search and the advanced search, and you can see a list of legendary heroes and elite heroes that you can get. Now, for your purpose, the best legendary heroes in this list is Cynthia for riders, Rigoro, and Tom for infantry players. Unfortunately, there is nobody great for range mains, hence why I don't recommend anybody being range main if you're free to play, because there's no good heroes on the police station for range main. And finally, there is Lee, who is a leader hero, which works in your team regardless of what your troop type focus is. Now, for the best early game elite heroes, the absolutely best one is Charlie, as well as Alexander, Park, and Freya. So you'll definitely be using those 4 heroes even mid to late game. Temporary good heroes to get just for the early part of the game and maybe mid game would be CEO, who would be paired up with your range squad, and Edward, who is fairly decent early game for the purpose of garrison. The next thing we're going to cover is Lucky Roulette heroes and Top Commander heroes. We're going to go with Lucky Roulette first, and your goal early on the game is to draw 10 times so you can open this first chest, which will allow you to get 5 legendary hero fragments of a specific troop type. So currently I'm showing you right now is the infantry top commander, so you can see all the different top commander heroes for infantry specifically, and you can choose which one you want to select. After you've rolled 10 times, you will be able to get 5, and usually these top commander events, they run 2 of them within a 2-week time span, allowing you to get 10 fragments to unlock a legendary hero based on that specific troop type. So for your reference, for those playing infantry, the best one to pick would be a Dut first, followed by Miyamoto. If you are somebody that is playing as a rider, then the best one for you to pick is actually Elena, followed by your choice of either Felix or Bella. I would say Felix is much better these days because he has multiple utilities. Bella is mainly used for field, while Felix can actually be used for garrison as well. And I see a lot of people using him for siege. So Felix just has more utility compared to Bella. For range, you want to pick Julia first, and then you want to get Lynn. So after you've gotten all these heroes, or at least one of each of these heroes from Lucky Roulette, you actually want to start saving up those gems for something else, which I'll cover shortly. And your next goal is to save up 6 months worth of resources, specifically speed ups, but other resources as well. That way, during Top Commander of your chosen troop type, you can dump 6 months worth of resources and win tons of shards, if not even first place, which will allow you to get some of the best Top Commander heroes. So if you are Rider main, then you will want to get Chasey. If you are Range main, you will want to get Bard. And if you are Infantry main, I would say for free-to-play players specifically, the best ones would be Riven, number 1, followed by Eddie, and then Stella. Now, in terms of what you would use your gems for, so in this game, there are events that pop by every week where you have certain requirements, and if you complete those requirements, you get extra items. So there is a gem rebate event where if you use your gems, you get lots of items, specifically legendary hero fragments, which is super important for upgrading your hero skills. So the specific event I'm mentioning right now is called Archipelago Raid. So during the week where Archipelago Raid is being held, I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, there is that gem rebate event. And if you use 60,000 gems during that event, you can get all these amazing legendary hero fragments. You want to use those gems on your VIP, and your goal is to rush to VIP 13 as fast as possible, because if you take a look, you're going to get 3 legendary hero fragments per day the moment you get to VIP 13, which will allow you to awaken your heroes much faster. So if you are free to play, it's hard for you to awaken heroes because you are not spending money money to get extra legendary hero fragments. But if you get to VIP 13, you're essentially getting 90 legendary hero fragments per month. So pretty much every 6 months you can awaken a new hero, which is amazing. This is outside of also ranking well in Top Commander, getting fragments from that event, as well as getting lucky in Lucky Roulette. Next, let's talk about getting loot. So in this game, getting speed ups and other items is very important for you to strengthen your characters. But if you're free to play, you're not going to get as much items as someone that is spending money on this game. But there is a little way that you can get items even though you're free to play, and that is to join big alliances, especially whale alliances. So what happens is when you join big alliances, under shop rewards, every time people make a purchase, you're going to get free items. So this is a great way for you to get lots of free items from people that are spending money. There's also activity rewards. So the more active your alliance is, that's why it's good to have a big alliance, or at least a very active alliance. You get free items from the activity of your alliance as well. So if you're free to play, you want to get as much free items as possible, right? The second thing that's important is to have sweat equity. So if you don't have money to spend to get items, then you can work for items and use your people skills to get additional items. So what you can do is join alliances, and usually alliances require people to do certain admin type of work, and in return they can either give you gold from their alliance vault, or they can give you merit chests from PvP events, as well as give you chests from the metro. So one job that you can do is called buffing, and basically what's going to happen is you're going to be added in this law enforcement category here, and what you're going to do then is you're going to be buffing people, either instructor, engineer, or professor, and this is a type of task that every server needs. So if you're good at buffing people quickly, then your alliance is more likely to give you a reward in either gold or loot boxes, or even both. There's also other jobs in this game that you can do, such as picking the alliance research. You can also build alliance towers and resource centers, and any other admin type of work that your alliance requires you to do. Now, outside of those jobs that you can do in this game when you join an alliance to get free items, you also want to make sure you take the PvP events seriously, as well as leveling up your workshop. So in PvP events such as Pompeii or the seasonal events, there is something called the seasonal shop, and you can buy items from here. So the points that you get from there, you should only be using it on the IE augmenter, which is a device, and this device will make you very strong, so make sure that you only spend it on that specific device. Now, when you do well in PvP events, nowadays you also get rewarded with T3 blueprints for your workshop. So we're going to go to your custom hub, and we're going to go to the workshop, and here you can see there's tier 2 and tier 3 of any given specific troop type. So tier 3 is the strongest, and those blueprints can be used to unlock a tier 3. So as you can see here, it's going to cost you 100 tier 3 of this device blueprints in order for you to unlock one of these. And essentially you want to save them up so you can unlock it for your specific troop type. So if you're a rider main, for example, then you're going to use it on the rider power device that will increase the defense and also increase the offensive capabilities, while the rest you can just leave it as tier 2, and you can get the tier 2 blueprints from your radar station. So under the exchange bottle caps, you can see that you can get the tier 2 blueprints from here. So I do recommend getting the tier 2 blueprints first, and later on, once you get the tier 3 blueprints, you can switch to that, and you can always recycle your materials, so it's not the end of the world if you use the tier 2 blueprints. You also only want to do the upgrades here in the workshop during Top Commander, because you get a lot of points when you upgrade these. So don't be in a rush to upgrade them. Wait until Top Commander and then start dropping your resources to upgrade these equipments. Next, we're going to cover hones for armaments. So you're going to get purple hones in these games, and the purple hones should only be used during an event called Honing Challenge. Your goal is to save up 550 of these, because if you use 550 of these purple hones during the Honing Challenge event, you're guaranteed to get 4 guaranteed red hones, and the red hones is the strongest attributes that you can possibly have in your armaments in this game. Now people are saying, oh, it's only 3 red guaranteed hones when you drop 550 of these purple honing chips. Actually, dummy, it's 4, because 550 guarantees you to rank in that event, allowing you to get 4 red hones. And the red hones should only be used on your heroes' devices. So this is what a device is. That's why you want to get the IE augment, because then you can use your red hone for this specific equipment. It also works for other gold version of the devices. Don't use it on the purple ones. Now for your blue hones, your goal is to level up your armaments until you have the purple attribute, okay? So just use it for the purple ones, and then the purple hones specifically will be used to get either gold or red. The blue hones, you will definitely want to use them during Top Commander, because you get points when you use them during Top Commander. I'll go into more details about armaments in another video, so stay tuned for that. One thing to keep in mind is that you can have 2 of the same same hone attribute effects in your armament. So as you can see here, I have 2 of the lethality, and the most important attributes to hone into your armaments are the ones that can be used in any kind of battle, whether that be field, garrison, or sieges. If you look at the new attributes here, the one that you really want to focus on would be lethality and block, followed by the troop specific squad attack or squad defense, and then the general squad attack and squad defense. Everything else is not as useful because they're way too specific in where they are effective. When it comes to armaments, where you have to level them up by sacrificing an armament to take them to the next level. So for example, for my hat, I need 3 of these hats to get them to 5-star of this armament. And every time I rank up one of these armaments, I unlock another spot that I can hone to make the attributes of this armaments even stronger. Now, if you are somebody that is free to play, you don't have the luxury to level up all your character. So you have to break down all your other armaments that is not your main hero's troop type. So for example, if you're rider main, you have to break down all the non-rider hero armaments so that you can use the materials to go to the armament shop and purchase the ones that is for your specific troop type. So every week there is the armament shop changes and they have a specific item, and the priority that you want to level up in terms of golden armaments, the first one would definitely be the backpack, because the backpack is the most rare and there's not many events that you can get it from. From the top of my head, I can't think of any events actually where you can specifically pick the backpack to level it up. So your only choice then is to break down your other armaments and buy it from that weekly armament shop. The second priority then for armaments would be the weapon, and the weapon can only be gotten in Archipelago Raid, as well as the vests, which you can get from the Wasteland Challenge. It's pretty hard to get them, but it's possible. That's why they are the second priority. Third priority is the pants, and the pants, as well as actually the shoes, can be gotten from the Arena of Doom. So you can buy it from the shop in the Arena of Doom right here. This is the pants, and this is the shoes. And last but not least, the helmet can be gotten from Bounty Ground. So you can't see it right now because I've already collected it, but they usually have it here in the top somewhere. Let's look at equipment next. So for equipment specifically, you can get the parts for the equipment workshop in the arena as well. So I'll just show you real quick what that looks like in the shop, where as you can see, there is carbon steel here and also carbon steel here. And as usual, the same tip goes for equipment, where you only use them during Top Commander to get extra points. Now in general, you want to level up the body, because if you look at the upgrade attributes here, it says squad's basic attack damage. That means all the squads benefit from this. The only exception is if you are rider main, in which case you want to upgrade the pants first, because not only does it make your rider troop stronger, it also has that research speed. And the higher your research speed is, the faster it is for you to get T5 and T6 troops, which will ultimately be one of your biggest upgrades in this game. In terms of constructing buildings, my biggest tip here is to never use the universal speed-ups when you're upgrading your buildings. Only use the construction speed-ups, because eventually you'll run out of things to construct, and those universal speed-ups can be used instead for something more important, which is research, and you need so many speed-ups for research. You also want to level up your alliance center as fast as possible, because you're going to get something called helps, or taps as they call it in the game, which will reduce the time required to complete either a research or a construction in this game, as well as any healing of your troops. It also wouldn't hurt for you to create additional farm accounts to get additional resources to be used to level up your buildings and research. Now, as far as stamina goes, do not use your stamina pots unless it's the Russell event. So there's an event here where if you kill zombies during the Russell event, you get loot boxes containing toolboxes. The toolbox is used to level up your lookout tower, so that's very important. So don't use any of your stamina pots unless it's the Russell event. On a daily basis, after you have used up all your stamina in the radar stations events, whatever you have left, you should be using it to kill hives, because hives contains victory badges, which is needed to upgrade one of the hardest things to upgrade in this game, which is your battle center. And you can't get T6 without your battle center being level 25. So you need lots of badges in this game, and it takes a long time to farm those victory badges from hives. So make sure that any leftover stamina you have daily should be used for hives. And last but not least, I'm going to give you some final tips and conclusion for this beginner's guide. And one of the tips is to join the Doomsday Discord server, because they're going to give you in-game codes in that server, usually during special events, that you can use as a gift code and get additional items. Every Thursday, they also have an event where if you go to the chat in Discord, they'll give you free items as well. You can also be a content creator, and usually if you're a content creator, they give you free items in this game. You also want to study the tech tree as fast as possible under research and try to figure out how you can get to T5 and T6 troops as fast as possible. I will definitely make a video in the future on the requirements on getting T5 and T6 troops. You also want to make sure that on the radar station, you are getting the Maxine fragments to awaken her as fast as possible, because if you look at Maxine, her awaken skill is called Homecoming, and you get bonus reward after gathering at a resource node, and that bonus reward is actually a Maxine Deluxe gift containing lots of amazing treasures, including speed ups, if you complete a level 5 node or higher. Now, in my honest opinion, there is no such thing as free to play in this game. It's really free to try. That's why this game is not designed for best success for free to play players, but I have given you the tools required to be as successful as possible as a free-to-play player, especially if you follow everything that we've covered in this video, and especially if you pick Rider as your main. Now, in my opinion, being a low spender is the better option, because you want to treat it like an MMORPG where you can go to the gold store and buy the monthly gold pass and the weekly gold pass, which will help support the developers of this game, and that money is then used to create further contents and to keep this game going and alive for a very long time. Being low spend also makes you stronger much faster than free-to-play. So even if you invest only a little bit of money, it goes so much further than if you spent nothing. And last but not least, if you plan on making a new account in this game, do use my special link and code to get $100 worth of free items. If you have never purchased anything from the gold store before, do use my code, which I'll link in the description below as well as in the pinned comment section, to get bonus gold on your first purchase. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.